And a good day, everybody. As you see, my eyes are awake. I'm ready. Another beer and TV ramble. Today, we're looking at Sam Adams Boston Lager, a flagship beer of the Boston Beer Company. Jim Cook, of course, 4.9% ABV by volume. Um, 86 score on Beer Advocate, 90 with the brothers, which means they like it a lot. Had this many times. I don't buy this a lot. Maybe if it's tend to buy the cans if I can get it in cans, but people are more familiar with the bottles than they are with the cans. You see the head right over here, a nice little floaty top head. As they say, let's see, put a with the beer cap. Let's see if it works. The beer cap is floating on the beer. I ain't gonna do that. Anyway, that's how to do that. Um, this beer, like I said, I've had before, is a Vienna style lager. Pretty good. I mean, very good. Um, the maltiness of this beer is awesome. We just had some meatloaf with this, which is perfect to pair with this. Meatloaf or a nice, bacon cheeseburger with a nice aged cheddar cheese. Little Vidalia onions or maybe red onions on top. Um, you can wash this down with this as a perfect some side of fried potatoes. And my dad calls them fried potatoes. Sound like my father there. French fries, I should say. Uh, like I said, perfect cheeseburger, meatloaf with some mashed potatoes and gravy, pot roast. I mean, this beer goes perfect with this. Um, what can you say? Of course, beer started everything for the company, Boston Beer Company. Jim Cook, of course, is the CEO of the company. Um, my beef with Jim Cook is that he likes to portray himself as this. I probably said this during the review I did with the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. He likes to portray himself that he's one of the craft beer guys, and in a lot of ways, again, when he started, he was. He was one of the guys out there starting. If I remember correctly, I mean, Sam Adams were in a few cities. I mean, obviously Boston, but a few cities in the Northeast. I'm from Jersey originally, and they they were making their reach and making their you know they knew that at that time there was a craving or a thirst for good, decent beer, good quality beer um, that had a little more umph to it. That was nothing like what was being put out by you know Anheuser Busch, Coors Brewery, or Miller Brewery at the time. So so he comes out with this. Of course, this is a traditional recipe by his great grandfather. If you read the website, but my thing with him has been over the years, and then of course he expanded his reach now, and now he's slowly has built his brand. Now, if you look in terms of the amount of sales, they do very well versus him and also Dick Yingling the third. If I believe that's Dick Yingling the third of Yingling Brewery, Paso, Pennsylvania, which claims to be America's oldest brewery. Of course, they like to tout that they're obviously they're American owned. We haven't given to any corporate pressure that we're not a foreign owned company, blah blah blah. And granted, that there's all well and good, but he gives himself this impression um, that he's one of the guys. I'm still a craft beer guys, but if you look at his sales, There's my dog right there. Get down, Bash. So, not get down, Sebastian. His name is. Um, there he is, Sebastian. Hi. Okay. Anyway, it gives the impression that he's this craft beer maven, but if you look at his sales over the last, still to this day, over the last couple of years, 3 years, but if you look at his sales, I mean, and his distribution, and that's been the biggest thing, is this distribution has been excellent versus Yingling's. If you want to look at it, and if you look at all the other craft beer guys out there right now, his distribution is just, I mean, for the Boston Beer Company, I mean, it's just enormous. They do commercials. They probably not do as many as Bud, Miller, and Coors do, but they do plenty of advertising. But he still gives this impression, this notion, hey, I'm with you guys, I'm with you. And I like the guy. I've seen him. I've seen a lot of television interviews. And he seems like a real cool guy to hang out with. He likes beer, but he's at the table with the beer guys. With the Bud and Miller and Coors. Wheeling and dealing. Making deals. If you look at his sales and his reach, all across the country. Um, and I think that's my biggest thing. I mean, just you're at the big boy table now. I know you say you're with the crab guys, but you're at the big boy table. So that's something that I have an issue with. But outside of that, I mean, he puts out some great stuff. The Rebel IPA I like. The Oktoberfest I was okay with that, but not overly in love with it. But um, the their summer seasonal beer that they do, the light version of this is very good too. So he puts out some good stuff. So and his prices are about reasonable. I got this at Rouse's, a single bottle of this beer, and they have a little section there in Mobile. I was out in Saraland today, and they have a section. Pick your craft beer. You don't have to do the pick six, whatever. You can do two, you can do three, do 12, whatever. So I got a couple other beers that I have in the that I picked out today. I'll show you my stash in a little bit. And in fact, let me show it to you right now. As they say, stay tuned. Well, these are the three I'm gonna try out, do sometime later this week if I can get some time. There's one. There's the Beat Oktoberfest, which I'll be doing. What I got today. Bale's Too Hard to Ale, and of course my personal favorite Guinness Extra Stout. So I'm gonna do a review of those beers later. So put those off to a side there. On to back to Boston Lager. I like it a lot. It's a good beer. Um, yeah, I mean, it's I mean, there's nothing negative to say. It's an excellent beer. So for the style, Vienna Lager style from 1 to 10, this is a solid 9.5 for me. Um, this is really good. And this is my second beer of the day. I had another one earlier. I had Natty Light. Um, so I don't discriminate when it comes to beer. But anyhow, again, that's my rating, a 9.5. Give me your thoughts on Boston Lager. Tell me what you think. Leave your comments down on the bottom. And this is John Henderson Pierre, the Beer TV Ramble, telling you to keep watching and cheers.